new coronavirus restrictions have just gone into effect in his state as cases continue to climb. Governor, thank you very much for joining us. So as soon as December 10th for this rollout, what are you doing to get ready right now?
Katie, first of all, good to be with you. And secondly, I'm a former U.S. ambassador, and I either worked for or with most of the people on that stage. And what a breath of fresh air, thank God, at last. We've been working on a vaccine distribution plan since March. And our information, we had a call with Secretary Azar and General Perna. Yesterday, I spoke with Vice President Pence right shortly thereafter. Our information is similar to yours. We're likely to get first batches in December, and we've got a whole set of protocols in terms of who gets them first. Not surprisingly, it'll be frontline workers, vulnerable populations. We're going to need a very robust federal partnership, whether it's through the end of the days of the Trump administration or the early days of the Biden administration. But this is a real light at the end of the tunnel.
Can you walk me through the logistics? I'm so curious for just how this is going to look when it does get rolled out. Is the vaccine going to go to hospitals? How do you sign up to say, hey, I'm among the vulnerable population? Is it going to go to a Duane Reade or a CVS or a Walgreens or doctors' offices? How does it work?
Yeah, so at least at the moment, states get to sort of, we submit our plan, which we did several weeks ago, to the CDC. We go back and forth with the CDC. We agree on a plan, which we have agreed on. And then the actual how do we get it to you is complicated. And your questions are good ones. In many cases, that's still to be determined. But I do believe you will see mass drop shipping to drugstore chains, including independent pharmacies. Complication with the three, and I know you know this, but the three vaccines that have made the most progress, Pfizer, Moderna, AstraZeneca, they're 2 jabs, and 2 of the 3 need to have a cold chain storage, minus 20 degrees Celsius or minus 70. So those are not natural acts. AstraZeneca, by the way, less efficacious, but a regular refrigeration. So a lot of those details are being literally ironed out as we speak and over the next several weeks.
Do you expect to get every one of the vaccines if each one of them gets FDA approval, that emergency use approval, or are you only expecting to get Pfizer or AstraZeneca or just Moderna?
Again, good question. I can't give you a definitive answer on AstraZeneca because the news is fresh off from yesterday. But for instance, we expect both Pfizer and Moderna, and assuming they get emergency use authorization, we expect that we'll get batches from each in December, measured in several hundred thousand.
Let's talk about what's happening in New Jersey right now. There are new restrictions in effect. We're coming up on Thanksgiving. There was this concern about hospitals bracing for what's going to happen post-Thanksgiving, also for kids coming home from college. The St. Joseph's medical officer, this is to NorthJersey.com, outlined his concerns about the next 2 months, college students returning home, convivial gatherings over drinks, families reuniting over the Thanksgiving table. Duffy was grim, saying, quote, "I do not have hope that this will turn out well," he said. What are you doing to try and mitigate it? And I know everybody is aware that there's a pandemic going on, and we say every day that you should stay home, be with your immediate family, take precautions. It's not worth it. But there is a reality that there are a lot of people out there who are suffering from severe depression, from loneliness, who need to see their family right now, who feel like they need to be amongst other people. So what do you do when you are faced with something like that? And obviously, college students coming home is another difficulty as well.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a combination of surgical action. So, for instance, we saw a lot of our restaurants morphing into sort of a club-like atmosphere late at night. So we shut indoor dining at 10 o'clock. We've restricted indoor gatherings to 10 persons or less. But frankly, Katie, there's a lot of fatigue. The weather is cold. We've got a bunch of holidays stacked up. There is light at the end of the tunnel, but we're likely in for a very rough 2 or 3 months, and we got to appeal to personal responsibility. And frankly, you're picking among the least lousy of a set of lousy alternatives. And mental health is a great example of that. My family and I got lit up at a restaurant outside on Saturday night, and they weren't civil. They were profane. They pulled our kids into it. I didn't like any of that, but I don't begrudge the stress. People are at their wits' end. They've lost their job. They can't see their mom or dad in a nursing home. Their business is belly up. They've lost a family member. We are at the knife's edge as a society in our country, and we have to understand that and accept that there are no easy answers and no easy fixes right now.
You know, I wonder what you're planning on doing about testing, or what you are, any information you're getting on testing from the Biden transition team. There's an experiment going on in Liverpool over in the UK where you can get voluntarily tested a number of times. You can do it pretty frequently. Your results come back within 20 minutes. It's partially the reason that officials over there are saying that they've seen a dramatic drop in COVID cases. Are we going to get to a point here where we can get rapid testing, rapid results as much as we want it, instead of seeing what we're seeing right now, which are lines around the block for urgent cares and for pharmacies in order for people to get tested, and then they have to wait a few days to get the results? Are we going to get to a point where we have this and we can just start addressing it in an effective and immediate way?
Yeah, the answer is yes. The question is when. So I have no doubt, I've thought this for a moment, and I'm not a medical expert, but we talk to them all the time. And obviously now, both with the Trump team and the Biden team, this ultimately ends up in the form, I believe, of a home pregnancy test where you know almost instantly. In the meantime, we've got these Abbott Binax Now tests. That's a 15-minute high reliability turnaround. I've taken that several times myself. We've got this Q Health. New Jersey's been picked as one of the 5 states for this new test, which is a 19-minute turnaround. I think what you're seeing right now is the technology is there, the development is there, but the demand is overwhelming. It's not just like it was in March and April when New Jersey and New York were on fire. We've got an entire country on fire. In fact, in many respects, we look a lot better than a lot of other places in the country. So you've got a real strain on capacity and supply right now. I would think a Biden administration would have a set of national policies, so it would not be patchwork. And one of them would be aggressive all in on national testing, including the Defense Production Act, whatever other steps needed to be taken.
So January, late January, February, March, probably at the soonest. You know, my husband asked you this morning on CBS this morning, so forgive me for asking it to you, but I thought it was an interesting answer and one worthwhile of our audience. We are 8 months into this pandemic. What do we know now? What do you know now to make you better equipped to handle this second surge?
Yeah, it's a particularly treat that I get both sides of the household here on the same day. Listen, we didn't know what we didn't know in March, April, and May. This is just flat out. No one did. We had no testing. We had no ventilator bed PPE capacities, no medical understanding. We are in a dramatically different place. We've got about 2,800 people in our hospitals today. Our capacity, I think we reached 8,300 in the spring. We had no PPE in our stockpiles today. We in New Jersey alone, we have 100 million pieces. We've got several hundred ventilators in use, and we've got 2,600 in our stockpile. How ventilators are used, how the entire approach to the virus is, we just know so much more. I said to your husband, I wouldn't trade for a second what we did in the spring. I only wish all of us knew more about this earlier. But in terms of the dramatic shutdown to crush the curve, I wouldn't trade that for anything. I think because of our knowledge, we have the ability to be more surgical now, far more surgical. And we can move in with a pincer where need be. Schools, for instance, in-school transmission, we have it, but it's very manageable at the moment, as long as folks are careful when they go from outside schools into inside schools. There's a confidence about that, by example, that we would not have had in the spring.
That is a really good point. Governor Phil Murphy, thanks for coming on. We always appreciate your time. And good luck out there. Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.